Hey guys, this is Christian, and today I'm going to show you how we got over 3 million video views on Kevin's song Afterglow on TikTok through consultation with us and through the campaigns that we ran for him as well. When Kevin came to us, he pretty much had no following. He wasn't getting a whole lot of traction on TikTok. He felt a bit stuck and lost with what to do. And his song Afterglow hadn't really gotten a whole lot of streams either. He basically was just looking for some type of direction, something to do, something to move the needle. Some of you might have seen a previous version of this video. I'm making an updated version as Kevin's results have increased since then and wanted to share what he's been doing since the last campaign that we ran together. I should also note that through the work that we did together, Kevin was able to get the attention of a record label and sign a deal and is working on a lot of new music, which is great and just makes us really happy to see. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, how did you actually pull off getting this many views and how did it actually translate to Spotify? The first thing we did is we had a consultation with Kevin to sit down and see what he had available, what assets he had available, and what he was even trying to do with his music brand. Kevin and I worked together one-on-one during this consultation and throughout the entirety of this campaign. And when he started out, he really wasn't getting too much attention. These numbers at the time that he came to me were even lower than before. Now I think people have scrolled through a bit of his TikTok and we've ran some ad campaigns on some of these videos. Some of these are going to be a little bit higher than when he started, but generally he was sitting around like the 500, 600 mark with his posts and was posting somewhat infrequently. And then where we were able to take him through our consultation was all the way from where he was to getting videos like this right here, which generated 3.5 million views, almost 100,000 likes, tons and tons of conversions over to his Spotify, as you can see here, and saves coming in all the time. And real people too, making videos, even just about his song, right? So if you go over to the audio tab here, you can see that outside of the ones that Kevin's obviously making, there's a ton of people getting in here and sharing the song and just sharing how much they love the song, which is awesome. This is like an ideal scenario for what we want to see. Kevin comes to us, we have this initial consultation, and the first thing that him and I actually do is we just talk about the meaning of his song Afterglow and the type of message he's trying to send and the type of person he's trying to hit. In this particular case, he wrote the song about the passing of a family member and this beautiful realization that he came to through the experience of losing somebody he loved. I said to him, you know, man, I think we really need to touch on that. I think that's a message that people really need to hear and are really going to resonate with. It's really, really important to get down to the details of what it is that you're trying to say with the song and who you're trying to reach. And it doesn't always have to be heartfelt either. It can be fun, it can be lighthearted, it doesn't always have to be like something super deep. But in this case it was, and which is a good thing. We actually spent a few weeks just in the planning phase, right? So this was just a lot of going back and forth and me talking to him about his schedule, how he can actually produce content, what tools to use, what he can realistically commit to schedule-wise. And also, we wanted to make sure that we were careful with the messaging of the song because we wanted to make sure we were respectful to him and his family and make sure that we were honoring the lessons that he learned as best as we could. The first round of posts that we made about the song, though they have much higher numbers now, they didn't quite hit in the beginning. Some of them needed a little bit of tweaking, but we started to see a little bit of engagement. And then I believe once we got to about this video, I'll have to double check the screenshots here. One of the videos started to organically pop off and get thousands and thousands of views and like people were interacting with it a lot. So that was the moment that we actually decided to turn on the ad campaign. So as you can see here, Kevin was sending me messages of some of his TikTok stats at the time. We had one video hit 47K. We had another video hit like 60K. And so on and so forth. So some of the videos started to do way better than we actually expected, which was awesome. And now mind you, so Kevin had about like 50 followers too when he came to us. And you can see now through like the work that we've done together, he's grown to over 39,000 followers. So once Kevin and I figured out the formats that he could actually post and use and do consistently, and we started to see overperformers. And by the way, an overperformer doesn't have to be in the 50,000 range. It could be smaller numbers. It just has to overperform relative to what your baselines are. So if you get 100 views per video and then you have one that gets 1,000, then that means we would look at that and go, oh, okay, well, there's probably something we did right here. But of course, all of this has to be contextual to the goal. And in this case, the goal was to promote the song. So we're only, of course, going to look at videos that are geared towards promoting the song in some capacity. So right after this happens, we go to turn on the ad campaign. And very, very quickly, using these overperformer videos plus a mixture of some other content, this video shoots up to 3.5 million. We have a handful of other videos cross the 100,000 mark. We started having him double and triple down on these formats where he's just kind of like singing and playing a guitar, using hooks that are talking about the meaning of the song and really trying to get people to connect to the emotional catharsis that he wants people to have as the result of this song. So this song essentially became a place for people to honor and commemorate their lost loved ones, which is a really beautiful thing. He's done a lot more now than just get a bunch of people to stream the song, but he's also building a community around a message, which is really, really cool. And as you can see, he's just been absolutely crushing it, staying on top of his posting, continuing to promote the song and continuing to grow his brand and his career. And then you're probably wondering, how did this actually shake out on the Spotify stats end? So as you can see, before us, not really a whole lot of streams, which is totally fine. This is normal for what we expect when there's not a lot going on in the promotional back end. And then pretty much right at the start of the campaign, pretty much since he started the campaign, he hasn't gotten any less than 500 streams a day, which is really, really good. And on top of that too, he's getting 4 streams per listener on average, which is great. That means people are coming back and listening again and again, which means they like it. And we've got a save to listener ratio of over 50%, which means that most of the new listeners are deciding that they want to hear the song again. And you can even see here in the source of streams section that most of the streams are coming from their own playlist and library, which is really, really good. The point of doing content and the point of doing these ad campaigns to grow your music and grow your brand is because we want to build long-term fans who are going to repeatedly listen to your stuff and then eventually come to a show, maybe buy some merch, and maybe engage with anything else that you might be trying to do. And in Kevin's case, this is just a perfect example of somebody who had a great song, a great vision, a great recording, a great image, and then executed really well on all the consultation that we gave him. Now, Kevin is currently I believe he's in Nashville recording a new record, which is going to be really awesome. We're stoked for him. But as you can see, we paused working together about September, October, if I remember correctly. But as you can see, he's still getting streams per day. So the long-term effects of having these ad campaigns, even when they're off, is really, really great. And on top of that too, if he were to keep some of these on, the campaign that we set up together isn't currently on, but if he were to turn that back on or set up a new one with us, I'm certain the results would magnify and trickle down to his other songs. What you can do with consistently posting content and having consistent advertising is build a machine that slowly builds upon itself. Now, whenever we work with our artists, our goal is always to look at the long-term situation and see how we can build a foundation that helps you out for the future. It starts with great music, consistent content, consistent execution, and consistent advertising campaigns done effectively to make sure that you can get results like this. The cost per conversion on this was roughly below 20 cents, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of these early results happened before we even put, we only had spent maybe about $150 in ads at the initial time of release. The total ad spend now has certainly increased a lot more, but that was over the course of time, spending $20 a day for months on end. And to have a campaign that is consistently performing below 30 cent cost per conversion, and we define the conversion as somebody who has clicked on the play button on the landing page and actually gone over to the streaming platform. If we're getting this many conversions for that kind of cost, for that kind of budget, this is just exactly the kind of thing that we want to see. Now, you're probably wondering, hey man, okay, so that worked for Kevin, but does it work for anybody else? And the answer is absolutely yes. This is a repeatable process that you can use for any artist in any genre. What changes is your specific situation, your music, and then we tailor our strategies to your specific case. And some of the highlights from Jacob's campaign were that we went from under 5,000 to over 25,000 monthly listeners. We promoted his August song release, Cold Side, through Meta and TikTok ads, which is now sitting at over 110,000 streams, which is his best performing song to date. And the song that I was talking about on The Voice was his song called If I Could Change Anything. And we were able to help him gain thousands of new Instagram and TikTok followers and create posts that got hundreds of thousands of views organically that also ended up being amplified by ads, similar to Kevin's campaign. Plus, we also started triggering the Spotify algorithm on a weekly basis. So in this case, Jacob came to us about his voice performance and mentions that he's going to do this. We knew we had to be really on for this one because getting the timing of this was really, really important. He came to us early enough and prepared enough that, we could actually pull something like this off. But once that episode on The Voice aired, we had him sync his song If I Could Change Anything to the moment where he actually proposes to his girlfriend live on The Voice. And you can see that clip here.
Even right now, if I could change anything, the only thing I'd change is your last name.
Right, and you get it. Like, beautiful, beautiful moment. The song sounds great. It just feels like a movie moment, which is cool. And as you can see, tons and tons of people just in here talking about how cute this is, how much they love it. Snoop Dogg's reaction was obviously really, really cool. And I can pull up his Spotify stats as well. And as you can see, the single Cold Side that I mentioned earlier, we were able to get over 134,000 streams on that one. And If I Could Change Anything, was able to get about 41,000 streams. And we're still working with Jacob to this day. He's currently on our roster doing great things with our guy Alex. But effectively, it's all the same strategy, right? We start with a consultation to figure out what your situation is, what you have going on, what songs you have, any content assets, how you want to brand yourself, and what goals you're trying to achieve. We take all that information and then we come up with a plan to execute the vision. Whether it's, you're going live on TV and we need to make a moment out of it, or it's your first time really going hard on promoting your Spotify and promoting your songs, like in Kevin's case. And then we work with you to meet you where you're at and help you grow from where you are. In Kevin's case, he needed help getting his feet off the ground. He didn't know what to do. So we spent a lot of time educating him on how to think about these things and then giving him instructions on specifically what to do every week. Where Jacob, in this case, already had a bit of an idea and he needed a team to help him execute this big idea that he had. And we can accommodate both of these things. Now, in both cases, what's happened is we have consultation and great marketing strategy paired with great content execution consistently over the course of time. And then layering advertising on top of that to drive traffic and real fans over to your Spotify or to whatever it is that you're trying to get people to interact with. Now, the next step of this is SMS lists, email campaigns, ticket sale campaigns. If you vinyl, you can sell vinyl, stuff like that. But this is an example of how powerful that this stuff can be. Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, cool, these numbers look kind of fancy, but prove to me this actually works, right? How do I know this isn't BS? What I'd like to do now is show you the actual ads manager and what that looks like. Now, I can't show you their ad accounts because that contains PII that I'm not allowed to show. However, I can pull up the ads manager and show you an example from a different artist. Now, before I do this, in the case of Kevin and Jacob, the main things that we're looking for in a Spotify conversion ad campaign is we're looking to get a cost per conversion below 30 cents. Generally, we want it below 50. Anything above 50 is really bad, but our target is somewhere in the 20 to 30 cent range. We want to make sure that when we go over to Spotify, we're seeing saves coming in every day, not just streams, but people saving the song and showcasing high intent. And we want to make sure we're getting a streams per listener of 2 or higher. This enables us to make sure that people are actually coming back and enjoying the song, which means our marketing efforts have captured the right people. Because the reality is, if the song is quality, if the vision is there, and you've done your part, what marketing is doing is finding the right person to actually enjoy the experience that you've created. And in Jacob, Ryan, and Kevin's case, all of those numbers were hit, all of those targets were hit, all of those metrics were looking exactly how we wanted them to be. But what I can show you is my own personal ad account. I'm also an artist who does a lot of my own promotion, content creation, and advertising. So my artist name is Dark. I make heavy pop music for your catharsis that sounds like The Weeknd and Bring Me the Horizon had a party in your basement at midnight. And I want to take the example of my song Ocean, which I released this past year. And I was able to generate similar results. I got over 1 million video views on TikTok that converted into tens of thousands of streams on my Spotify. And I followed the exact same strategy that I laid out for those other guys. So I had a video do slightly well organically. And by the way, it didn't even pop off the same way Kevin's video did. My video, I think my baseline was 1,000 views, and this video did like 1,500 views. And I was like, cool, it goes into an ad campaign. It did over the baseline. And as you can see here, 690,000 views on this one video. There's others in the campaign that I'll show you. And as you can see, tons and tons of real people being truly interested in the song, telling me how much they love it, sharing it with their friends, telling me they're adding it to their Spotify playlist. And as you can see, I got over 54,000 streams on the song. My streams per listener is about 4.5, which means people are really, really digging the song. About 50% of listeners saved the song, which is great. This is awesome. This is exactly the kind of thing I want to see. And in my case, we had our biggest spike in the beginning. I'm not currently running ads on this song, so you will start to see things taper off a little bit as the ad campaign stops. But here's the thing that you'll notice is even though I haven't put a single cent into this song for months now, I'm still getting streams every single day, which means people are coming back and enjoying the song over and over again, creating real fans that are actually engaging with me and my brand. So at the time when I dropped Ocean was somewhere around like the March, April timeframe. I was sitting at about 7,000 followers, and something really neat that happened is when I ran this campaign, my following basically doubled. I went from 6,000 to, roughly 13,000 over the course of a few weeks. And again, I didn't put that much money into the campaign at the time. I had maybe spent $200-300 in advertising dollars. And what happened was it did well in advertising land, and then it triggered the organic algorithm. Because it triggered the organic algorithm, I got more and more traction as a result of what I was doing, which is why you see results like this across me, across Kevin, and across Jacob. Now, this is the first of 2 campaigns that I ran for the song, so these were the actual stats that shook out. And you can see actually the final cost per conversion for the lifetime of the campaign was a little bit higher than 30 cents, which is okay because we still got the results that we wanted. If this was sitting in like the 40-cent territory, then I might start to worry a bit. The other thing to pay attention to is on the top performing video, right? So I was getting about a 30-cent conversion or 31-cent conversion here. Now, this campaign still falls in line with all those metrics we were talking about earlier, right? We're getting a cost per conversion that we like. We're getting streaming numbers, streams per listener, saves, and good save to listener ratio that we like, on top of consistent organic content execution and testing to learn what people are resonating with, and then engaging with them consistently so that they go over and listen to the thing that we've spent so much time, money, and effort to make. And you're probably wondering, hey man, so you mentioned 1 million video views. Where are you getting that number from? So let me show you. This is the aforementioned pinned video here, and I'll show you, right? And as you can see, this video got about $357.94 spent into it. And at this impressions number, this is the number of times my video was seen as the result of a paid advertisement. So 281,664 views. But here's the really interesting part. The organic video views were 413,455. So what happens as a result of these ad campaigns is if it does really, really well on both sides of the equation, you get awesome numbers on the organic side as a result of it also doing well in paid advertising land. And again, these are real people that are actually streaming your songs, who are converting into real fans. And if you scroll all the way down here, you can see that across all the videos in the campaign, we got 1,192,954 views. And this wasn't the only video that did well, right? We had another video do about 334,000 organic views, 221,000 organic views, 44,000, etc. The point that I'm trying to make here is good consultation and good marketing strategy paired with good content and good content execution and a solid ad campaign built around the goals that you have for your brand can really, really drive actual movement with actual people who truly want to engage with you. I hope that this video was somewhat helpful and shows you a little bit more about how we actually do things on the inside. And if you feel like we're a good fit for you, give us a call and let's see if we can help you become unignorable.